focus on my brake lights. Ain't turning back, now that I'm back on track, yeah. Take my word from it, put a couple bands on it, and I don't plan on letting people turn me, no. You can say what you want, I'ma keep pressing on. I can't go pop that thing like I'm feeling green, right? Talking to my past like focus on my brake lights. Cruising to my future.
Oh, hola. ¿Cómo están? How are you guys doing? How are y'all doing? Are you guys doing all right?
Yeah.
Here I come speaking all these different languages.
You woke up in Spanish mode today.
What is wrong with her today? Listen. You know, listen, today we're going to have a really, really good show. Let me start off by saying that we're going to be talking about very interesting things that I know you are going to soak in, take in, and even enjoy. But before I let you know about that, let us introduce ourselves, shall we?
Yes.
My name is Nori.
I'm Angeli.
And I'm Francisca.
And you are tuned into Breaking the Silence. We are invading your area, your space for this next hour, all right? So the first topic that we will be discussing about today.
Not be absorbing.
Yes. You know, when it comes to safety, you can never be too safe.
Yeah.
When it comes to yourself, to your family. So that is what we are going to be talking about. Poison prevention awareness. Mm-hmm. Being safe at home for you and your children. So make sure you stay tuned to that because we're definitely going to be talking about some tips.
Yeah.
In order to prevent poisoning, you know, and also raising
and some
awareness.
Products that maybe
yes,
are used
definitely that you could probably have in your home right now as well. And we're also going to be having our focal point. Ooh, yes. Ooh, child. Our focal point for you ladies. There you go, for you ladies that want to be able to get away, maybe for the weekends, you know, have a nice, enjoyable, relaxable weekend to unwind, to de-stress.
Yes.
It's needed, right?
That was heavy. That was a little coming from.
De-stress. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So we're
Disconnect
there
and
you go.
reconnect to yourself.
Exactly. Girl, listen.
Yes,
we need that. We need that, right?
We need it.
I feel like a BTS road trip is needed.
Ooh, y'all hear that? Listen, don't hype me up, okay?
Yeah, see, the crew is like hyped right now.
The crew is already in the car right now.
They're
waiting.
packing their stuff and ready to go.
And listen, this one here, you definitely want to stay glued to. We are going to be talking about unspoken rules.
Oh,
yes. There's some rules that are not spoken about often. We're going to be navigating social graces. We definitely need to learn about that because some people sometimes just don't get the hint. But listen, anyway, we're going to be talking about that later. We want to give you guys some time to soak it in. We're going to go on a quick break, right, ladies?
Yes.
And we'll be right back.
Don't change the channel. We will be right back with more Breaking the Silence.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
You are watching Breaking the Silence.
All right, we are back, and it is time for our question of the day. Question of the day. What is BTS without our question of the day, right, ladies?
Yeah.
All right, so let us put, there it goes. So for all of you watching, this is the question for you to answer today. What's the most important element of a brand for you? The story, the product, or the message? I like this question.
You got us thinking, right?
Actually, no. When I read the question, I already had my answer in mind. But I know it's not for me. It's not for us right now. At least, it's for our wonderful viewers. So we definitely want to know your answer to this question. We do have our QR code that you can scan. There it is. Breaking the Silence _talk show. So you can scan that QR code. It will take you to our page, and please do drop your comment because we want to hear from you guys. And who knows, maybe later on we might read one of their comments, some of their comments, maybe not all, but we will definitely read some.
Yeah.
And if time permits, we'll share ours, right, Francisca?
Yes.
Or do you want to share yours now?
No.
I mean, I can.
No, we don't want you to. We don't
okay.
want- They don't want you to share it either.
I was trying to be like old Nori.
Let's not bring that up. No.
Let's leave the old habits behind.
Leave it behind.
It's 2024.
Definitely.
Okay, no problem.
All right, so let us get into our first topic, which is something that is very important to always discuss, for our loved ones, in case of an emergency, and, things that we can be able to implement in order to ensure everyone's safety, which is actually about poison prevention awareness, right?
Yes, and it's so our everyday products that we have in our house, that we cook with, that we clean with, that we have as decoration even in our house can become poisonous to us. So it's so important to become aware of how everyday products can lead into having to call poison control.
Exactly.
So that's why we're gonna, provide them essential information because it's something that's necessary that they need to know and also educate, the family as well. So we're gonna give them some tips as well.
Definitely, because poisoning is actually a leading cause of unintentional injury. And that is sad, it's very, very sad. Just by, hearing the topic, the title of this topic, I'm already remembering a situation. And this happened many, many years ago when, those laundry detergent pods, when they first started coming out, kids were mistaking it for candy, and there was an incident where this little boy actually ingested, so that's why we are raising awareness on this and also sharing, because like I said, poisoning is a leading cause for unintentional injuries as well. And according to the CDC, over 2 million poisonings are reported each year. So knowing the risk and taking precautions can definitely save lives.
Yes, and like we were saying earlier, like I was saying earlier, so many products in our household that can cause us we can poison ourselves, we can poison our families without really knowing how to properly use these products, or if you accidentally use it thinking it was one product. I know I've heard a lot of people that would say they've accidentally used a cleaning product thinking it was something else because it was in a different bottle or container. So that's something that you really need to keep in mind when you have these kind of products. Make sure that you're labeling them correctly so you don't accidentally poison yourself or a family member.
Yeah, and Nora, you spoke about children, right? And it's important because, again, children, they're very curious. So even if, they tell them many, many times, sometimes they still, grab it. So make sure that you store, anything that's potential, that's poisonous, that you store them somewhere where they cannot reach it, or put a lock, because even children resistant packaging can be foolproof. Sometimes you know how kids can be smart these days. They can do whatever to open that package, especially if it's really colorful or something that they can play around with. So we have to really be careful, like especially when we have children or even pets.
Definitely.
In the house.
And then we also have situations with seniors and medication. Normally, elderly people, they tend to have many different illnesses and medications for many different things. So it's always good and important to label them clearly. It's always good to also explain to them what is what, because there's times where a mix-up can happen which can cause damage or which can cause harm to them or in excess of it. So it's always good to also even get those those little square kits.
Yeah, the Monday, Wednesday, night and day
kits.
To be able to kind of label them so that way we can also keep our loved ones safe. Not only seniors, but also children and adults as well. Because if we don't read labels clearly, something can happen. Another example that I have, I know this lady one time, her daughter had chicken pox, and somebody gave her calamine. So calamine is a lotion that you put on the chicken pots so they won't scratch. She didn't read the bottle, and instead of putting the lotion on her daughter, she gave her a spoonful of calamine lotion. needless to say, you know what happened.
Oh,
you know,
my gosh.
the child felt sick and everything. So, you know, not only for seniors, but just for everybody. You know, whenever you have medication or whenever you're using anything, it's always good to read the labels. It's always good to put them in a safe place as well. Or even, you know, explaining to children, you know, this isn't candy. A lot of times, you know, just to kind of throw kids off, we're like, oh, hey, look, this is candy, but you can't touch it, you can't eat it and stuff. And that's because if you say candy to a child, listen, whether you say no, they're gonna want to sneak it and try to have it, you know. So we never want to cause that type of confusion as well. We have to be mindful on that.
Yeah, and speaking of that, it reminded me of when I was younger. There's a medication. It's like an antibiotic. It's a pink antibiotic that they give to children, but it tastes like cotton candy. Like, it tastes so good. So the kids don't mind taking the medication. They're like, give it to me. And in fact, it's like they want to grab the bottle and drink it down because it tastes good. It doesn't taste like medication.
Don't tell me you drank the bottle.
No, I did not.
Okay.
Because my mom wouldn't let me get the bottle. She definitely kept it there, so you can't reach it. But when you were talking about that, that's what I was thinking. Was that kind of medication. But also, just to be mindful of the medications that you're taking. A lot of the times, if you're taking a lot of medications, it's a really good idea to call your pharmacist and ask, do these have interactions? Because sometimes the medications will have interactions with the other medication, and then it can cause you can poison yourself without even realizing it. Can have some really, really bad effects to it. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Don't be afraid to ever reach out to your doctor or to the pharmacist just to have clarification. And like you said, you can label it, make sure don't mix this medication with this medication, because sometimes it's like cough medicine. You don't want to mix it with another kind of medication because it can offset it, right?
Yes.
But then we also have carbon monoxide, right? Carbon monoxide is odorless. You can't see it, you can't taste it, it just creeps in and it kills so many people. Especially if you happen to be asleep, and you get carbon monoxide poisoning. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't wake up, so it can be deadly. You definitely want to make sure that you have your alarm set in place at your house. Make sure that they have batteries, that they're working properly, because so many people have been saved because of these alarms inside of their house. And unfortunately, sometimes they have these annoying sensors that go off, and people want to unplug them and take the batteries out.
Don't unplug them.
But don't do that. Don't do that, because you're not going to be able to know if this gas is in your house or in your building.
And another thing is food poisoning prevention, especially for moms, or you know, you're always in the kitchen, not to combine or not to work in a place where there's raw food and also, you know, food that's already, you know, prepared. Because you don't want, again, like especially like raw chicken, make sure you wash your hands thoroughly. So practice good food hygiene, because again, your family is going to be the one benefiting in that if you're cooking. But then if you don't practice that, then you can end up, you know, have like food poisoning, and you don't want that to happen.
Definitely. And there's so many resources out there to educate yourself on it as well. We have the Poison Control Center, which is a vital resource, and that number to it is 1-800-222-1222. So that's a number that you always want to keep in handy. Maybe you want to keep it on your fridge, or you want to save it on your phone, or you want to put it somewhere where, you know, your family will also have access to it as well. Put it in a visible location, and when you call that number, they can also provide you with, you know, expertise and things like that you may need and want to implement in order to keep you and your family safe as well. So those are one of the resources that you can be able to get in contact with.
I think this number is just as important as knowing 911 as a child. Because if you as an adult poison yourself, your child needs to know this number. So have it on the refrigerator, like you said, have it somewhere where the kids are going to be able to use the phone number to reach out. But just educating your family, letting your family know the do's and don'ts, what to look for, what not to do, how to be able to keep themselves safe. Make sure you have like even locks on the cabinets where the kids can get in and start playing around with the medications or with the household cleaners. Maybe like playing with it, throwing it around, because a lot of the times cleaning supplies have bubbles in it and they think it's fun. They want to slip and slide all over the floor. So you definitely want to be able to educate your children and just let them know, hey, be aware, these are not toys, this is not something to play with, but put a lock on there and make sure your kid does not know how to open that lock.
Yeah.
Because
they can
you
be
put
really
the lock
smart.
on there,
Yeah,
but they
they're
watch
really
you
smart.
open that thing and they know how to get in there. And they'll get in there.
Yeah, but this
Definitely.
also is for adults because I know, like for example, like cleaning products. Like I would have like an empty spray bottle and I would put like a product there. But if you don't label it, then you wouldn't know. Of course, you're gonna say, oh no, but I use it all the time. But there could be times that you can misplace it, put it somewhere,
Right,
and if you
somewhere
forgot
else.
that hey, this is vinegar or this is hydrogen peroxide, and then you mix it with something because you know that bleach and vinegar should never ever mix. Okay, bleach is only used just with water. That's it. And then hydrogen peroxide cannot be mixed with vinegar. And if you accidentally, because not knowing that you didn't label it, you mixed it, and you can inhale that gas, and then you as an adult can be as well prone to that. So make sure you label, you know, the bottles. If possible, do not even like take it out of the original container, you know, especially if it's something poisonous or it could have like that, you know, potential effect.
Exactly. And even when it comes to disposing of medication and stuff, and that's something you want to go ahead and just toss in the trash or just toss in a way that, you know, a child can reach it or anyone else can reach it for that matter. There's safe ways that you can be able to dispose of medication, flush it down the toilet, or, you know, put it or throw it out in a way that no one can be able to get to it. It won't be able to be used or anything like that in order to ensure people's safety as well, because we've seen situations like that as well, where people just toss out a bottle of medication or whatever. Someone might find it and they might use it, and, you know, for whatever reason, and they might end up suffering some type of injury, you know, where they have to go to the hospital, their stomach has to be pumped and stuff like that. So disposing of it carefully is also a big thing that we also have to ensure.
Something that I just want to mention real quick, because you're talking about medication. A lot of the times we have to give injections to ourselves or to our family members, but then if the children or people happen to find those needles and then want to use them. So make sure that if you are somebody that has to use needles for your medication, that once you're done with that needle, that you bend that needle down so that that needle can never be used again, and then you put the top on it. Never throw a needle back into the trash with that needle still attached to it, because then if kids or anybody get a hold of it, God forbid, they put air inside of themselves, it can be deadly. So definitely make sure that you're removing the needle from the needle itself.
Definitely. So listen, all of these prevention tips, they're definitely crucial. We always want to keep our family safe. We always want to keep our loved ones safe. We always want to educate those around us as well, because even though you might implement these things in your home, but let's say, for example, you have kids that, you know, they go to their friend's house, or they go, you know, somewhere else, you always want to make sure that they understand the safety of certain things, what to do, what not to do, what to touch, what to play with, what not to play with. So we hope this was able to help you, and don't forget that number that you can always keep in handy. That number again is 1-800-222-1222. All right, keep it on your fridge, you know, help your child memorize it as well. In case of any emergency, they can always seek for help. All right, but we're gonna go on a quick break, and when we come back, we are definitely gonna get into our focal point.
We will be right back with more Breaking the Silence.
I surrender.
All right, pal. Get ready for the day, buddy.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
What's up?
Do we have a gun?
You are watching Breaking the Silence.
Let us keep the conversation going with our focal point. And we're going to be talking about, because listen, when it comes to getaways, you want to make sure you're planning that perfect getaway where you can be able to recharge and rejuvenate and just sigh, you know? It is definitely really good, especially, and I find a lot of people doing it nowadays, you know, if it's gonna be like a long weekend because holiday or whatever. Listen, people go to work, they already have their duffel bag prepared or their carry-on prepared, and as soon as they clock out, they're like, I am out the door.
Don't text me, don't call me.
Enjoy a really good getaway weekend, right?
Yes, they don't even miss 1 minute.
I know.
They said I'm not even driving home to get my suitcase. I am hitting the
Going
road
straight.
as soon as I clock out, as soon as I walk out of the building, my vacation starts.
Yes.
But we are so busy. We are so busy with work, with commitments, with family, with so many things, but we have to be able to carve out that time for us to recharge, to refocus, to breathe, and get back into the swing of life again.
Because we need a break, we need a break. If not, like our bodies are going to burn out, right? So we need that little me time, even if that means that 1 day, 2 days, right? And that weekend, at least you're able to recharge yourself and refuel and ready for the next week.
Definitely, because listen, face it, ladies, listen, there's time where you just really, really do need to get away, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I know y'all can all agree with me. And listen, before we even get started with some of these getaways, I read this and we're talking about it, and I was remembering this comedian guy where he was actually kind of criticizing us women. He was like, women, they always want to get away. They always want to get away. It's the weekend, they want to get away. It's, they got a promotion, they want to get away. They want to have a girls' night out. They want to have this, they want to have that. They want to have so many different things or to get away all the time. But listen, we deserve it. We work hard every day.
We do a lot of things.
Bustle,
we do a lot of things.
And you need us to be refreshed.
Yeah,
Yes.
and we juggle
Imagine
so
if
much.
we're like high strung all the time on edge. No, you want us to go on these getaways. You need us to go on these getaways.
Or else you don't want to know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
And they don't have to break the bank.
No, exactly. You don't need to break the bank.
Because when they hear
at all.
getaway, they hear money. They just
Exactly.
hear money flying out of the bank account.
Exactly. So what are one of the getaways that we can be able to go to enjoy? Angelique.
Cozy cabin retreat. I think we know who is going to.
Yes.
The woods, right? Enjoying good book. Maybe not the good book, but the fireplace, taking long walks in nature. Just imagine. You can close your eyes now, and she's already closing her eyes. Disconnecting from the hustle and bustle. You can find a cabin in the nearby mountain range, and there your perfect escape.
Francisca.
Are you there yet?
Yeah, Francisca's
She's already
there.
I'm
Look at her
already
face.
there. Why did you have to interrupt me?
She is already there.
I was in Alaska.
And it was wonderful, right?
Yes.
The cabins and stuff. You wasn't scared?
The weather.
I was at night.
Yeah.
When it's pitch
Because of the bear and
black.
stuff?
Yes, because somebody threw meat outside our cabin, and I said, "There's going to be a black bear that's going to show up, and he's going to come for me because he's going to find me in here, and my family's all downstairs."
Oh
It's
my
a whole
goodness.
situation. But if you're not like me and you don't want to go into the woods, I understand. They have the city escape, so you can actually go into the city, or go into a different city, get a different kind of urban vibe, be able to go walk around, see and meet different kinds of people, go to restaurant shopping, restaurant hopping, so you can really get the feel of the city. Maybe not your city, but a city nearby, so you don't even have to drive that far. It's not very expensive. Just kind of stay right there on the city walk and be able to explore a city in a different kind of vibe.
Definitely. But if you are into nature, there's that outdoor adventure where you can go hiking, where you can do all of these things and embrace just the beautiful nature and God's creation. I mean, there's nothing wonderful than to enjoy the outside, to be able to, whether you're hiking, you're going out for a walk, or you're going to ride your bike, or you're doing any of these things, getting out there and enjoying even the scenery as well. I like it personally because I take that time to kind of just reflect and embrace and just take in and soak in all of that quietness. That quietness, that relaxation, nature kind of quiets the noise. You were talking about the city,
too much
a lot of people want to get away from, I definitely love to get away from it. I really don't mind. Even when I go for like long drives and stuff like that, I like it a lot. But embracing and going out into the nature and just enjoying and embracing it definitely brings a peace of mind, a sense of calmness, and I really like it. So that's definitely something that you can be able to do as well.
Yes.
Right? Over the weekend getaway.
Right. And this one I think we'll all love, wellness retreat. Who would
yes.
not
Yes.
want a massage, a facial, or maybe even acupuncture, sauna? Remember sauna, we mentioned it before. You know, it could be really an immersive experience for you. You know, you can relax. Even though you just go like drive somewhere in a spa place, that you could actually, you know, release all that tension from the whole week, and then you could just unwind and then rejuvenate and refresh yourself. Yeah.
Having that one person to massage you and, you know, get those knots out.
Yeah.
And like, oh my goodness. Have you ever gotten a massage and just fallen asleep?
Yes.
And they're like, excuse me, time's up.
I hope so. That's how you know it's good.
Yes. It's so good.
Definitely.
You become one with the table.
Yes.
You're like, I can't get up.
Yes.
I cannot move.
Listen, and that's a big thing, self-care. That's one way you can definitely take that time for self-care. Take that time to take care of you. A lot of times, you know, with kids and work and all of these things, you don't have that time for yourself to be able to unwind, to be able to just kind of have a you time where you can relax, but you don't have to worry about the time. You don't have to worry about anything else that you need to do. You don't have to worry about meeting deadlines or going to see people or anything. You're just taking that time for you, for yourself, and to relax. So always embrace it, enjoy it, and make sure you're making time for it, because we can never say, I don't have time. If we are to always say, I don't have time, we're never gonna get anything done. We're never gonna do things that we kind of enjoy and things that are going to help us relax. You know what I mean? So definitely take that time for yourself. You need it, all right? But we also have the tea room and botanical garden. This here sounds really, really good. Not everyone enjoys alcohol, so instead of winery, hey, how about delightful afternoon at a local tea room? This is interesting. I think we should do one of this one day.
Yeah.
You like teas? You into teas? She is not into teas.
By her reaction, she's like, maybe I should bring my coffee, my cup
with
of
a good cup of tea, you can enjoy the nice wonderful
pastries.
Yes.
And I'm sure they have coffee at the tea place.
Francisca, come on.
Maybe not,
She
because
really
it's a tea
needs
place.
to detox from coffee, y'all, okay? We need to go to this tea room.
I could try something new, I guess.
Yes, of course. It's about trying something new, something different. You never know. You might end up liking it all the way and just put the coffee aside.
And they're medicinal. They're good.
They are. They're very medicinal. So, Francisca, we're definitely going to go to a tea room and enjoy.
You're going to treat me or something?
Yeah, I'll treat you for that. I'll definitely treat you. You know, and also to enjoy the beautiful botanical garden. There's nothing beautiful, especially when when you want to go and take pictures. Maybe you're not that type of person to really take pictures. Look at that. Lay on the grass and just look at the
connect yourself
beauty and
nature.
wonder. You know, have you ever had that dream where you're just like running in a beautiful garden and stuff?
I can't say that I have.
Yes, I have. Okay, I have. But this is another weekend getaway that you can be able to enjoy. Francisca, we gotta do different things, girl.
I know. You gotta explore.
Maybe like through the woods, at a lake, at a river.
Oh my
But
goodness.
not with flowers and
Yes, Francisca, we're gonna do one of these. Me and you and I, and Angeli too.
With tea.
Okay, maybe Kim and
with tea
Christy.
and cup of joy. Cup of joy. Oh well.
So that's
All
definitely
right.
another one.
So the next one is cooking for fun. So cooking, which I have been exploring.
Okay. So this
been
is a path you've been
and I
exploring.
have been
That's good.
finding that it is actually very, very relaxing and enjoyable to like cook and to bake and to make different things and to try different things.
Yeah.
Because it takes you, basically everything that we're talking about, it takes you out of your own mind. It takes you away from the busyness, from the deadlines, from the stress, from work. Takes you away from everything, and you're able to just put all your energy into it. So I have been investing, which I know a lot of people have been seeing all over the place, but the sourdough bread. So once I was able to make it once, I said, oh, this is fun. I enjoy it. So now I tried to make a loaf at least.
So you're gonna bring
but
us?
I did not.
I'm still waiting though. I really am.
Because
Where's our BTS sourdough bread?
I mean, it's probably right here.
Oh!
That is messed up.
I mean, I'll bring it one day. I just started, so let me make sure that it is good before I bring it to anybody else to enjoy.
Okay,
But
it
is really enjoyable. It's a whole day process. It's a whole situation.
Yeah.
But it's really, really enjoyable. Once I saw that I could do it, because I didn't. Y'all already know I don't cook.
It pumped you up, right?
It did. I was like, oh, I did it.
created something.
I did it.
Okay.
Like, I made bread. I was like, what in the world? And then I've been learning how to make other meals to meal prep. And I started shocking myself.
You see?
I was like,
There you go.
I can do this.
Exactly.
I don't need
You just
Uber
need to
Eats
dip
every
your
day.
toes in it.
Just once in a while.
There you go.
So, yeah, so cooking for fun, it's definitely relaxing and it's enjoyable. And then you get to eat something that's good and healthy and you know what is in your food.
Definitely. Another getaway, romantic getaway, would be a bed and breakfast too.
Oh, that's cute.
Go with your boo to a bed and breakfast and enjoy. Listen, I went to one once upon a time and it was really nice. It was very different. It was a different experience. So that is something that you also may want to consider. Bed and breakfasts are very nice, but you know, you have to make sure you do your research, make sure that the place that you're going to is really up to par and good and the reviews are great and stuff like that. But that is another great getaway weekend getaway that you can be able to enjoy. Solo as well. I guess you can enjoy it solo too. There's some people that like to enjoy it solo. You know what I mean?
You can. You can enjoy
Don't be
it.
ashamed. You want to go to a bed and breakfast and treat yourself.
There you go.
Be your own date.
There you go.
You can do that.
Yeah.
There you go. So those are just some of the many options that you have for your weekend getaway. So make sure that you start planning. Planning ahead is always key in order for you to have a great experience when you want to do something out of the norm. You want to do something to treat yourself, because listen, you deserve it. You work hard. All right, so give yourself that chance. Be good to yourself, pamper yourself, spoil yourself. Okay, so already start preparing and let us know once you do have that weekend getaway. Let us know how it went, where you go, where did you go, how everything was. Just give us the tea, you know, in that tea room that Francisca and I are going to go to after the show. But we're going to go on a quick break. We're going to plan it right now during the break. So we're going to talk it up a bit and then we'll be right back after this break.
Don't change the channel. We will be right back. You are watching Breaking the Silence.
All right, we're back, and Francisca and I, we already finalized where we're gonna go, the tea room that we're gonna go visit and have wonderful teas, taste them out, and also enjoy the pastries, right, Francisca?
Yes, I'm ready.
She's ready.
I'm ready.
There you go. Y'all wanna join us? Just hit us up. We can all go together, right, Angela? You gonna join us?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, let us get
With
into with what?
With my coffee and tea.
With her coffee and tea.
Coffee and tea.
Yeah.
Do both?
Do
Yes,
both.
do both.
All right, so let us get into our next topic, which is very good. I love this topic a lot because a lot of times, you know, you encounter certain people that they really quite don't know how to
get it.
appreciate or get it, right? Listen, navigating social graces is definitely a big thing, right, Francisca?
Yes, it is. These little things, they are so tiny that you don't really think about them every single day, but they speak volumes.
Yeah.
So it's like we really need to be mindful of these small little things that can really make a huge difference.
Yeah.
They're not written anywhere, you know, that's why they're unspoken, unwritten guidelines. But today we're going to give you just some of them.
Yes.
Some of them, because there are many, but just some of the most common ones.
Yes, and our first one would be, well, actually, you know, before we go to the first one, you know, having these graces, these social graces are very important. I just want to put that out there. They're very important because they also help to kind of, you know, make stronger bonds, because you love it when someone is considerate with you or towards you. Or let's say, for example, you lend a helping hand and, you know, a small tiny gesture can actually do something to you, can actually make you, you know, boost you up, or, you know, it can make stronger bonds between you and someone else. So all of these things is very important. Above all, respect. I always say that respect is universal. So in any situation and with everyone, respect is a major factor for me. You know, the same way that I consider you, I would like for you to consider me. Right? Make sense?
Yes.
You know, a lot of times we use the word common sense, but I don't like using the word common sense because it is. Sorry guys, but honestly speaking, it's not as common as you think, right? So let us go into the first one. Which is the first one?
Shopping cart etiquette. Please, for
Yeah.
grocers out there, those who love to do grocery shopping, yes, you can, but please don't block the aisle. You know, because the supermarket, the grocery store, is not only yours. So it means that you need to share the space with other people. So please, because I've encountered, I've been to supermarkets and I've encountered people, but just to be gracious, just be considerate, especially we see a lot of seniors too and a lot of elderly, and sometimes, because they're blocked or they're not able to move because you are blocking their way, then it's not as considerate. So please, let's be kind.
I like how you said all of that because listen, me personally, I'm going to be honest, it frustrates me. When you stop your cart in the middle of the aisle that people just can't get around. I'm passing by trying to get through and I'm like, are you serious? Sometimes I just go ahead and I just move the person's cart. Excuse me. And I go about my business and I keep going. Don't block, be considerate. You would like people to be considerate to you, so be considerate. Yeah. Don't get me started on that one, please. All right, come on, let's go to the next one, Francisca.
So, speaking about food, you should feed those who help you. So many times when we go and we get people to help us move, to help us do something, it's just like, okay, I'm gonna have them help me move my entire house. And then I'm just gonna give them a few dollars and they're gonna be good. No, you need to be able to feed them, to show them that you appreciate all of their hard work, everything that they did to be able to help you. Whatever it is that they're doing, whatever it is that you've hired them for, just feed them. Food goes so far and speaks volumes, and everybody will be happy if they have a full belly. But if you leave them starving and they've been working all day, it won't be good. You wouldn't want somebody to do that to you, so don't do it to them.
Exactly. You know, I'm the type of person that even if I have someone come to the house, like if they're gonna repair something and they've been working there for hours and stuff like that, or it's hot, or they haven't had, I don't know if they had anything to eat or whatever. Something as small as maybe like a piece of cake or like a bottle of water. Something,
to offer.
To show some consideration, like, you know what, thank you for your hard work, especially when they're going that extra mile. So it's always good to be considerate to others. But then we also have this one. Have you ever been in a position where someone's like, oh girl, I got an emergency, can I borrow your car? And you're like, hey, yeah, sure, go ahead. You can borrow the car. Take your time. And they bring it back to you and it's on E.
Zero.
Like, how you giving me my car back and it's on E? Like, why wouldn't you put some gas in I let you borrow my and then on top of that you take the toll. You take the toll and now you're like, okay, thank you so much. Here's your key back. So you racked up fees on tolls and you didn't put any gas and you didn't put any gas. Yeah, that's very inconsiderate. We have to be nice. We have to be nice people. We have to be considerate to others. Pay it forward. Do unto others what you would like people to do to you. So listen, if you borrow someone's car, it is nice. It is polite. It is showing consideration. It is showing gratitude. It is showing all of the above that, and that goes a long way because you never know. Maybe that person was even struggling as well to put, gas in the car or something, and then
that might have been all they had.
And they still let you borrow it. They were nice enough to still let you borrow it. So at least you can do is put some gas in the person's car.
Don't leave it on E, please.
And you know what's even worse? Have y'all ever been in an elevator?
Oh yeah.
And the elevator door opens.
Oh yeah.
And there's a whole group of people standing outside. There's a whole group of people inside the elevator.
Oh my goodness.
And then it's like a mad rush of who's gonna get in, who's gonna get out.
How,
first.
right? How?
And it's like, how are you gonna get in while it's still full? Can we please get out? We're gonna get out. We're gonna give you the elevator. The elevator is all yours. But let us get out first and then you get in. Like, I've never understood this mad rush to get into the elevator when there's people already there. Like, be nice, be kind, be patient, and allow the people to exit the elevator before you get into the elevator. That's only the right thing to do. It doesn't make sense to just pile into there. Then it's like you're running into people, you're running over people just to get into the elevator. The elevator isn't even going anywhere yet. Like, you haven't got in there, you haven't hit the button.
Exactly.
It's not going anywhere. How do you feel about that, Mary?
How do I feel it? Yeah, because I've been, since you were talking about this, I was
She's
just
just
making some
keeping it.
faces.
She was.
No, but I've been, listen, I've been in that position before, right? But then there's just other people that they're just so mean and they just want to get ahead. So, you know, sometimes you have to be like, okay, no more Mr. Nice Guy. And you got to do what you got to do. But everything that you said makes sense, though. But sometimes it just doesn't pan out that way, you know. It's trying to be real sometimes.
But you got to be the bigger person. You cannot just continue
I'll be the bigger person and stay there for like 5 rides and I still can't get in.
You're the pressing the button for everyone and then just letting them in.
Especially in New York. Listen.
Well, that's on another
Especially in
level.
New York, you know, or like the subway elevators as well.
Oh,
I mean,
that
I guess
can be a
know
little
your
crazy
city, know your
sometimes.
people.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
true too. That's true.
But I mean,
And with knowing your city or knowing your environment, this is like if you have like in a workplace environment or maybe you have housemates, board mates, refilling the pot. And especially if you know that your housemates, your workmates love coffee. If you're the last one who takes that drop or a cup of coffee, you know, refill it. Refill, especially if it's like that hour, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, or that after lunch time, or maybe you're dreading yourself to work and then everybody's just going there to that common room and then there's no coffee, you know? So refill the pot if you're the last one.
You know, that silence is really loud, right? That silence between me and Francisca is really loud. You know where I see this a lot? I see this a lot in work settings. You know, if we have our break room or whatever, and maybe there's this one specific person that's always stocking up on sugar, on coffee and stuff like that. And then Francisca comes and gets the last bit of coffee, and she don't even bother to buy a new, but just, you were the last one to use it, Francisca.
And
Come
it tasted
on.
so good.
You know, let's be considerate for one another, you know? I mean, listen.
Yeah, no,
you
but you
finish
really
the coffee
do.
and buy it back.
Yeah.
Buy it back, okay?
We're waiting.
No, you were the last one to use it.
Donations. I take donations.
Oh my goodness, but yeah, that's a big part of consideration, you know, because we're all a team, we're all using the same thing. So let us not be stingy, y'all. Let us be considerate. All right, listen, let's go. Listen, and these rules matter. They matter because you're also showing to the person that, listen, we're a team. We're here to work together. You know, I care about you as much as you care about me, or I would like for you to care about me. It shows all of these great qualities that, you know, along the way, sometimes it gets lost. So let's not allow these things to get lost, because consideration is a huge thing. It doesn't matter in what type of setting. It can be at work, it can be at home, it can be anywhere and everywhere. The moment that you show consideration and a whole bunch of stuff, you know, it's really good. It's rewarding. It's rewarding as well, because you see that you are putting the effort and other people, they're doing it back to you, right?
Yeah. And one thing that I don't like is like, what? It kind of made me think whenever we were talking about the coffee, right? When people don't fill the coffee pot. But it's also when people like stir the pot. When people want to start drama in the buildings, when they want to start drama amongst other people just to get a rise out of people, just to start an argument, just to spread rumors. Like, it's not necessary. Like, people sometimes, I feel that people certain people enjoy creating drama where there is no drama.
Yes,
Just to stir the pot, or maybe get the eyes off of them because they've done something that they shouldn't have done, said something that they shouldn't have done, upset somebody. So then they're trying to deflect from them and get the eyes on somebody else. Drama is not necessary. It is unnecessary, especially if you are an adult.
Yes.
You should not be bringing drama into your house, into your workplace, into your friend circles. Like, drama
Or
needs to
even
go.
at a social setting as
Yeah.
well. You know, let's say, for example, someone invites you to their party, or someone invites you to a gathering or something like that, and you want to come and you want to start drama because you saw Rasputia that you don't get along with. You know, that's lack of consideration
Yeah.
towards the person that invited you and everyone else that is there. Needless to say, you make yourself look foolish as well at the same time. Because listen, it's not about you. You're making it about you. And it's not about you. So let us have that respect for ourselves, and let us have that respect for others as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and speaking about that, one of mine that gets on my nerves is when you're in a group of people or in a room and there's several people, somebody gets on that phone.
Oh, that's about what I was about
And
to
start
say.
speaking and carry on this conversation at
And you
regular
kill their whole
tone.
conversation.
And it's like, I don't need to be in your conversation. Can you take the phone call somewhere else? Or they're on the phone holding a conversation and you're with a group of friends and the rest of y'all are trying to talk, but this person's on the phone. Like, I don't need to know all of your personal business in this phone call. Can you
Right.
step out of the room and handle your business and then come back when you're done? Get off the phone when you're in a room with other people. You gotta be
Exactly.
respectful.
Exactly.
To add on to that is when they put it on speaker. Especially if you're in public. Imagine you're in a subway, on a bus, you're tired from work, and you hear this all drama, and hey, the bus is not only yours, you know, I don't know, where, even workplace, it's not, you know, so please don't put it on speaker. I don't, as you said, I don't need to hear the conversation. That should be private between you and the person, and you have to be considerate with the person. Imagine the person doesn't even know that the person is on speaker.
I know.
That is bad. Like, no, if you did not let the person know that they're on speaker, or why would you even put them on speaker? Unless you have somebody involved in the conversation, you know,
Exactly.
that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know, I love that. Everything that y'all said is on point. Yeah, I really love what you said that about speaker.
Yeah.
You know, you never know when what the person is gonna say.
That's
and
why you always say, you're on speaker.
Yeah,
Or voice
Yeah,
remind them, like, you
definitely.
already tell them. you're
Let
on
them know.
speaker.
Listen,
Yeah,
but
please.
be nice. You know, be considerate. Be all of these great things, because it's very unpleasant to have to deal with someone who's not considerate. You know for yourself, I'm pretty sure that you've had your own share of experiences. So let us always be considerate to one another, all right? But we're gonna change gears, shift gears a little bit. We're gonna go into our question of the day because I am ready for y'all's answers. Question of the day. Question of the day. It is time for our
Question of the
day. For those of you who missed it towards the beginning of the show, there it is for you once again. What's the most important element of a brand for you? The story, the product, or the message? And we have wonderful people who already sent in their reply. We have Miraya. She says, I'm not giving my money to a company, no matter how honorable they are, if I don't want their product. Oh my gosh, Miraya. Okay, I understand that. I feel you, girl. To each his own. Okay.
Okay, Miraya.
Thank you, though. Thank you for
Thank
sending in your comment. Alrighty.
Okay, we have our other one coming from Oceana. The story behind a company tells me their goals and intentions, which tells me if I want to support them or not. Agree
Yes,
with you,
I
Oceana.
agree.
Yeah,
100%.
I agree with you. The story.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for that. We do have our last comment, Francisca.
Gina, most companies make so many different products nowadays, I can hardly keep up. I'll have to go with the message.
Okay.
All right.
Interesting. Yeah, definitely. All right. Thank you, Gina.
What about
for sending in your comment. Me? I was gonna ask you first.
I'm asking you first.
Well, I would definitely, looking at the product is eventually the product called my attention. So I would definitely look at the story and the message. Like if you can catch me on the story and the message, I would definitely buy the product. So for me would be the story and the message. Yes, 100%.
But if the product caught your eye,
yeah,
because you want the product.
Yes.
So what if you don't like the message? Will you still get the product?
No, probably not. Probably not. But these are the two things that really interest me when I'm looking at a product: the story and the message. If it catches my attention, then I will definitely give it a shot. Yeah. What about you, Anjali?
The story. Because that's like your building, like your foundation for the brand.
Okay.
You know, because sometimes a product or a message can be misleading, but if the story is there, it's like what's stable and it's what's there. So especially if they build it from the ground up,
right.
you know. So yeah, that speaks a lot for me.
Okay. What about you?
I mean, when I first saw the question, my first instinct was product. But because it's like, if I like the product, I'm gonna buy it because obviously I like the product, I wanna use the product. But then I was thinking about it, and there was times where I wanted to buy the product because it's something that I used to enjoy using. Mm-hmm. And then once I did a little bit more research, kind of read on it, then I changed my mind because of what the company stood for. So the message behind the product for me is more important than the product itself.
Right.
Because with the products, there's so many products of the same thing.
Exactly.
So if the message isn't right, the product is going to be the same throughout many different companies. So I can find a company that has the product just like what I like to use, but has a better message behind it.
Okay, alrighty. There you go. What about y'all? Those of y'all who didn't send in your comments, send in your comments. We would definitely love to hear from you guys. What would you go for? The story, the product, or the message? We're not gonna read on air. We're not gonna read your comment on air, but we would love to still read your comments so you can continue sending them in. But we're gonna go on a quick break and we'll be right back.
The show isn't over yet. Don't change the channel. We will be right back with more Breaking the Silence.
Proclaim yourself king. People will already be on your side.
Send the spies throughout Israel. When they hear the sound of the trumpets, let them announce Absalom.
Prophecy of consequence.
Keep getting the wrong information. Do you know, for example, how many men in Israel are part of your army? How are you going to reign again if you don't know who you can count on?
So, the Lord sent a pestilence upon Israel.
Death.
The time has come for you to act. You've heard that Adonijah wants to reign, and David obviously doesn't know everything that's going on.
My child is going to die.
Your child will not die.
He will, you know it. It's the consequence of our sin.
Actions have consequences.
She will never be able to have another child.
That's not possible.
His consequences affects generations.
How do you expect me to believe what you say after all you've done behind my father's back?
You can trust me. After all, no one needs to know about Nama, rest assured.
The season finale March 12th. Kings, every weeknight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Only on the Living Faith Network.
You are watching Breaking the Silence.
What a show, what a show, what a show. A very good show, wasn't it?
It was a great
Oh my goodness. Let me tell you guys. This is why we love BTS so much, and I know this is your new favorite show, so you have no excuse as to why you should miss any of our shows, any of our episodes, right, ladies?
No.
Because we're always here to give you information, to look out for you and your family, to give you really great tips when it comes to weekend getaways. You know, we've already got it planned. We're gonna go to this wonderful place, this tea place, right, Francisca?
Yes.
You know, and
they're gonna tell you what their experience.
I'm gonna be nice, and I'm going to, you know, treat her.
Be considerate.
Because I consider her, you know, and I consider Angeli too. Don't think I left Angeli out. But I'm also gonna take Angeli too, you know, so we can enjoy a girls' day out, a weekend.
I'm ready.
Right? You ready?
Yeah, let's go right after the show.
And we're gonna tell you guys about it, how it went, okay? But listen. It was great. especially when it came to the poison prevention awareness.
Yes, a lot of essential information.
Exactly. You know, keeping ourselves safe, keeping our loved ones safe, our elderlies, our young ones is always essential and crucial, no matter where, if it's in your home or anywhere else. So listen, always make sure that you're implementing and also teaching your little ones as well, so they can also be in the know when it comes to poison, in order to prevent poisoning incidents, injuries, and stuff like that, you know? So, and also, what was it that we were speaking about just now?
Social etiquette.
There you go, social grace, social graces, right?
Social graces, not etiquette. I mean, but it's the same thing.
Yeah, social etiquette.
Yes,
social etiquette.
There you go. Paying it
graces.
forward is definitely important. You know, just like I'm taking her out to this tea place, she's also going to take me out on a spa. So, and I'm loving that.
Mine more expensive.
Thank you.
I know, right?
Thank you. And she's letting me choose the place. So
wow,
I'm
so
loving
nice.
it. I'm loving
So
it.
you're knowing this the first time, right?
While I'm looking for the place, I'm also going to be watching Kings, because Kings is definitely a great watch. You never want to miss it. It is a great show that you can catch on the weekdays. If you don't have time on the weekdays, you have the weekend, so there's no excuse as to why you should miss it. But ladies, that is all the time that we do have for today. So I am ready for the tea. I am ready for the spa. Guys, see you later.
Bye.
Hasta la vista.